Welcome back to Retro Dad Reviews, the ultimate parent's guide to modern gaming. Now if you're a parent, you're no stranger to the dreaded gaming backlog. That laundry list of games that you purchased on sale but ultimately never played because you got busy with the dance classes, the soccer practice, and then when you think you have free time, there are 3 loads of laundry to do and something is wrong with the toilet, so you gotta take the top off and jiggle the handle for an hour to figure out what's wrong. That game you bought for $10.99 gets thrown into the oblivion pile until you remember about it one day while dusting out your cabinet, or you finally rummage through your Steam library and realize that most of your games are unplayed. So for this episode, we're checking out a game I've had in the backlog, and that's Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West is a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, originally released on PlayStation 4 back in 2017. This series follows the protagonist Aloy as she explores a post-apocalyptic world overrun by machines. Throughout her adventures, she uncovers details about the world's past and how they were supposed to change the future by building futuristic machines based on dinosaurs from the past to make up for ecological damage to the present. But some people only cared about the present, so they corrupted the machines that eventually overran the future. And now it's up to Aloy to use information from the past to save the present and the future.
When does this happen in the movie?
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now? Soon.
You follow? Honestly, I probably overcomplicated the story bits, but Horizon Zero Dawn was a landmark game for the PlayStation 4 mostly for its lush environment and staggering scope that pushed the boundaries of a graphically amazing open world game. And the gameplay holds up the visuals too. Stealth techniques mixed with a variety of ranged combat gave players flexibility in approaching combat situations. The only thing putting this game down was its release alongside another widely lauded IP, The Witcher 3. While Horizon Zero Dawn stands on its own, many people felt the game was overshadowed by the Multi-Game of the Year award winner. When Horizon Forbidden West was announced, expectations were exceedingly high and the game was looking amazing in previews with the boost from the PlayStation 5. And yet this game was seemingly overshadowed yet again by another widely lauded IP, Elden Ring. By another sheer stroke of bad timing, hype surrounding Horizon Forbidden West was quenched by another Multi-Game of the Year award winner. Does that mean this is a bad game? Was Horizon Forbidden West just another victim of a bad release date? Why am I asking you these questions? We aren't professional market research analysts. What I am is just a dad trying to play some video games, and you are here to see if playing Horizon Forbidden West is worth your time. Let's kick off with pausability. This game is the king of pause features.
It's good to be the king.
You can pause the game at any time, whether it's normal traversal, in the middle of battle, cutscenes, dialogue, you name it, you can pause it. Not only that, but all the cutscenes are skippable and dialogue can be mashed through and skipped for those speed readers out there. No need to waste time letting characters belt out their lines. Most of the time you're not missing too much on the acting anyway. There are many areas that autosave your progress, mostly tracked by some artificial boundary that the game determines, but one downside is that manually saving can only be done at the bonfires. Luckily these double as fast travel points so you can warp to the bonfire and throw in a save if you need to get off the game at any moment. Can you put this game down for 2 weeks and come back to it? This game gave me some trouble with this. While the map clearly shows where your quests are, it is so expansive and there are more things to discover that aren't immediately shown on the map. Climbing a tall neck will expand the area map for you only to reveal even more things to do in the area. Coming back to the game and seeing a map littered with activities becomes daunting. It's just another honey-do list but in video game form. And most of the time you want to explore those areas in the hopes of finding new equipment or rare materials, but then you realize that you have a bunch of weapons and forgot how to use most of them, and what exactly tear damage is, and the best enemies to utilize shock or fire damage against. Then you spend a bunch of time scanning enemies and the environment to figure out the best fighting approach, only to get your cover blown somehow, and you scramble to run away from charging animal machines. I just felt this immediate challenge against enemies whenever I came back to this game. And yes, you can avoid enemy areas by detouring around, but it's like trying to avoid toll roads. Sure, you'll save $5, but you just add an hour to your trip and you have to deal with stoplights instead of just cruising through on the highway. Do I need to pay attention to the story? If you're able to follow along with my earlier ramblings, then it's worth a listen to keep up with the story, but it doesn't absolutely impress me, and neither did the first one. It's also helpful to read a wiki or check out a recap of Horizon Zero Dawn 2, because there were a couple of characters that I had completely forgotten about when I started Forbidden West, and I had forgotten everybody's name except for Aloy and Silas. Some of the side quest content is pretty decent to listen to, and you can tell that there was effort and thought put into each side quest to make those characters more than just generic NPCs. Although I find it funny how many NPCs have modern haircuts, like they went to a legit barbershop and said, "Hey bro, fade me up, I gotta look good at the bar tonight." Should you let your kids play this game? This game is rated T for teen for brainwashing sentient machine animals, killing groups and factions that Aloy doesn't agree with, and general disregard for established rules in areas that you don't live. From this perspective, this game sounds terrible for kids, but hopefully you caught the sarcasm because this is a decent game for kids to play. It's appropriately rated and doesn't surprise you with anything that exceeds a teen rating or makes you feel like it earned too high of an age rating. And just to hop up on my dad's soapbox a bit, it is nice to see a female lead in a game that can play tough like the boys and really has this game style all to herself. If you have a daughter and need a game to show her that's a good female protagonist, then this game is great for her. And if you don't like that or just a misogynist, I don't know, just go and dislike the video, I guess. Is this game worth the cost? Horizon Forbidden West is already a year old at this point and has seen its fair share of sales since it was released. If you haven't already picked it up by now, I would say to definitely wait on a sale. Typically the PlayStation 4 version is cheaper than the PlayStation 5 version, so make sure you buy the PS4 version because there is a free upgrade for PS5. This saved a lot of people some money on release, and I think the prices will follow this trend in the future. After playing it, I wouldn't spend more than $40 on this game if you enjoyed the first one and are into games like this, but maybe wait for a cheaper price if you're looking to just check out the game, or to just leave it for your dreaded backlog. Horizon Zero Dawn also came out on PC in 2020, so you might also be able to grab this game later on your gaming rig if you're patient enough. Do you need a guide to play this game? While it's not totally necessary, a guide might be able to help you out more than you think. There are level suggestions for quests as well as areas guarded by different leveled enemies, so finding out an optimized quest path would be beneficial for getting back on the main story. Also, reading ahead and seeing which side quests yield the best items lets you know which side quests are worth skipping to do other quests, or to just continue with the main story. This is a very large but somehow dense map, and you can easily spend an hour doing a simple side quest. I doubt you will ever get stuck without a guide, but who doesn't need a little hand holding every once in a while to get you to your goal? Having a list of the enemies pulled up will save some time scanning for weaknesses, and pulling up the bestiary to remind yourself about the easiest way to kill the machines. Finally, did I beat the game? I'm certainly showing my age over these past couple of videos because this time I did not beat the game. I played for about 10 hours, but I couldn't give myself a good reason to make time to come back and finish the game. The story is alright. Combat is unique, but again, alright. The game is overloaded with quests, and at this point in my life gives me anxiety more often than it gives me excitement. Now the game may pick up, and I'm sure there's a lot I'm missing by not playing further. I haven't made it to the Bay Area advertised in the trailers, but I've explored enough of the game to realize that it is very similar to the first. Honestly, this is a game that I wish my kids were older for because I'd be willing to just watch them play because it's visually amazing and has incredible scope, but I just don't have the patience or time to go through this open world to beat a game with a mediocre story. Horizon Forbidden West is available on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and is still a flagship IP for Sony. While being an overall solid game, there are not enough reasons for me to go back and finish it except for the sake of finishing it. In conclusion, Horizon Forbidden West is denied for parents, but approved for kids, just because the sheer quantity of things to do isn't conducive for busy parents, but has plenty of gameplay and positive elements for kids with time on their hands. If I were a 10-year-old kid again, I would probably play this all day on a rainy day and have a good time. As a parent, it's hard to justify the open world slog, and I found the combat too frustrating at times to keep me entertained. Not to mention an upcoming DLC that will probably add another 20 hours to the game. Let me know what you think about this game and whether or not you agree with my review. Likes, comments, and subscriptions are always appreciated and motivate me to keep making reviews for you. Let me know about games that you have been playing and if you think they are good for gamer parents. Check out some of my other videos if you made it this far, and hope to see you for the next one.